Good morning, good afternoon, good evening around the world. My name is Doug Grunke. I am the founder and CEO of Global Chamber. Every member of Global Chamber is extraordinary. And, we even get to the point where, quite honestly, if somebody's not extraordinary in their member, we kind of don't really do a lot to get them to renew. and maybe that's not very good business on from our standpoint, but I really do feel very strongly about warm introductions. Our entire team does. And, you all know this, right? When you're making a warm introduction, you ideally want to really feel great about both people. And make the introduction and make the magic happen. And when that doesn't happen, undoubtedly that's happened to all of us, right? When something goes off track with that introduction, that's not a good feeling. And so what we really work hard on is to find people who get it, who are smart, capable, professional, easy to work with, responding, which includes responding to emails, right? And fun and exciting and dynamic. And those are the people we want to be able to work with, right, on a regular basis. Not all our clients, if you have a business, can be like that, but you'd rather work with those, right? And so what we decided to do this year with the award program is to identify extra extraordinary leaders. We started with 50, the idea of hitting 50, and we went a little bit over, and there's so many more that we started to think about, what about this person? But a lot of it was around those characteristics and positivity and spirit and impact. And in some cases, some people who have really overcome some significant challenges. So thank you all for coming today. There's just so many people here today that you're going to have some fun, if you haven't met yet, to meet. So let's start. There's so many. Let's start with Tony Nishar, because that's kind of my backdrop. Chicago O'Hare Airport. That's a picture I took a few years ago. Tony Nishar and I met a few years ago, actually quite a number of years ago, at the beginning of Global Chamber. There was a fellow at the law firm Polsinelli who was really a strong supporter, still is a strong supporter of Global Chamber. And
still a good friend, even though he's gone elsewhere. So he's still a good friend. Michael.
Mike is amazing. Exactly. Yes. It's sad for Polsinelli, but the good news is Tony's still there. And you've got an amazing team. And Tony shepherds all of the international work within Polsinelli. So congratulations. You've been doing it for so many years. You're a global icon. Please let us know more about what you are doing at Polsinelli to make the impact that you are around the world.
Well, I sit on the board of a network of 90 law firms across 100 countries. So some of the firms span multiple countries, like South America or Central America, or Europe. But I'm kind of the conduit for any international work that comes from my colleagues. They regularly contact me. Hey, I've got a construction dispute involving a company in Bulgaria. Who do I talk to? Or I've got a license agreement involving a company out of Singapore. Who do I talk to? And so I connect my colleagues to the firms that we're friends with. It's not always the network multi-law, but it's actually, I've got probably a dozen law firms in London that I work with. In fact, I'm going to the Cubs games in London late June, and doing a lottery for who I invite to the game, because I can't invite, a guy from Pennington's and a guy from Lewis and Silken at the same time. But I get around. So I'll be in Singapore, actually. You'll have to give me some restaurant tips. I'll be in Singapore in the middle of May.
Sammy's fish head curry. Okay. It is the meal to have. If you like fish, that's the only place you go to. What do you think, William? Fish head curry. Are you a fish eater?
Oh, me, yes.
Okay. That's the place to go. It's Sammy's, Sammys, but we'll talk between now and then.
Sure.
Pulse, in terms of the work that you do with Pulsinelli, you're based in Chicago. And is there anything else that you'd like people to know about you and the firm?
I'll just say Pulsinelli is we're a U.S. national firm. We're just over 1,000 lawyers now with 23 offices in the U.S. We happen to be recently recognized as the largest U.S. firm that doesn't have foreign offices. And so we really rely on our friends across the globe to serve the client needs that we have. We don't intend to be a national or an international firm, but we have an international group. It really just shepherds the client's needs overseas through our friends network or the official network, multi-law. And the firm has grown. I joined them 17 years ago when it was 200 lawyers in Missouri, and it's not that anymore. It's 1,000 coast to coast. And
amazing. Congratulations on your success. We're going to be doing a rapid fire. You're going to meet probably at least 12, maybe 15 awardees at this session today. Tony kicking us off. Please put your information in the contact area for all of you, whether you're an awardee or otherwise. Please put your information in the contact area and feel free to connect up with each other. Congratulations, Tony. Just really have enjoyed knowing you all these years, working with you, and thank you for all your support and collaboration.
Been a pleasure.
It means a lot. Let's now go to probably Denver. And Maria Putnam, she also is a long-time supporter of Global Chamber. We were having an email exchange, and she listed like all the years she's been involved with Global Chamber. And she's also not just a member, but she runs our Global Women Online Networking event that happens on the last Wednesday of the month. And she also every other month does global dining, virtual dining for Global Chamber. Her company is DEI Leadership Institute, and watching Maria transform and start this company and become now very successful and providing diversity, equity, and inclusion services to companies all over the world. It's an inspiration, originally from the country of Colombia and very international. Maria, congratulations on this award, the Global Innovation and Excellence Award. And thank you so much for your support and collaboration. You are amazing.
Well, thank you so much, Doug. Yeah, it's been 8 years since I've been working with the Global Chamber. As I mentioned in one of the meetings that I have lately, this is where I feel like I belong. I love the people here. I think that there is two elements that keep me involved in working with the Global Chamber, and that is not only the network that is amazing, but also the quality of people to join the Global Chamber. So are those meaningful connections? And I always say that we work with the people that we like, no matter how much technology is out there. It's about people, and that's where I come from. With the DEI Leadership Institute, it has been great. Somehow I've been doing DEI for more than 12 years professionally. And in 2020, everything just, got busy with DEI and really benefit the Institute. So we provide certifications on diversity, equity, and inclusion, and we are certified for the Department of Education of the United States. So we have the certification. So a lot of people in HR and a lot of people who is overseeing teams are taking the certification everywhere, because the certification is an online self-paced program, and everybody get an advisor when they sign. And the good thing about this is the certification is that is not the check the box certification. Is really, they have to deep on content, on history, on laws, on measurements. So this is a very good program if anybody wants to learn about diversity, equity, and inclusion. And that's about it. We are about to have the first conference here in Colorado, in Denver. As Doug mentioned, I am from Bogota, Colombia, but I have been in Denver for the last 30 years. Actually, I used to live in Switzerland and then in France. And I don't see other ways that global is the way to do it.
Well, Maria,
Glo-
definitely. Go ahead.
Global is good. And Dana Austin is my partner in crime today. And sorry, I should introduce you earlier. I am
That's
crazy.
okay.
This is our second session. Yesterday we did Dr. Sanjeev Kagram kicked us off, and we had just an extraordinary leadership, an amazing chat. And Dana, thank you for joining me then, and thank you for joining today. What are your comments so far based on what you've heard from Tony and from Maria?
You know, I was happy to hear that Tony didn't really have a commitment to any baseball team, so he can come along with the Braves and the Yankees. We welcome you, number one, and thank you for being a conduit there in terms of the legal spectrum. And as for Maria, my first Globinar that I ever attended with Global Chamber was Global Dining. So she was the first contact that I had in a global setting, and you represent diversity, you represent inclusion and equity in all that you do, and particularly on the women's group that you host every month, which when I tell you there's a phenomenal group of women that gathers and comes together. And if you're not a part of it and you're a woman, or if you're a man, you'd like to hop on, there'll be some invaluable connections and information exchange. So congratulations, Maria. Keep shining and bringing people into an awareness of culture, equity, diversity, and inclusion and belonging. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you, Maria. We're going to keep going, and it's going to be a rapid fire introduction of a lot of extraordinary people. And Cesar, I agree. If we have time at the end, we're going to do a 5-minute breakout, and we're going to split you up into conversations with some of the awardees so you can get to meet one-on-one. So we'll try to keep making progress so that we can do that. Let's go to Spain, and Renee Van Bardewyk is someone that's a Thunderbird graduate. Speaking of Dr. Kagram, he's also probably one of the first people that we connected with when we started Global Chamber through Thunderbird and met him. He's been instrumental in helping us grow through the Thunderbird network around mainly Africa and Europe. And he also runs the Barcelona think tank organization, which is extraordinary in terms of communicating amongst leaders. He has a import-export business on the chemicals side of things, which, you know, being a chemical engineer, I really appreciate what you've been able to do, Renee, and your connections are so far and wide. We really wanted to recognize you, not just for your business success, but your connectivity success all over the world through Thunderbird and through your own business, Rebane International. Congratulations on this award. And would you like to share a little bit about you and the company?
Yeah, sure. Thank you very much, Doug, for such nice words. And hello, everybody from Barcelona, Spain. I actually just got back, so I still have a bit of jet lag because I was just in Australia, New Zealand, Singapore, and Hong Kong in the last 10 days. And just when you think you get adjusted to the time zone, you get back. So I still have some small eyes, but yeah, I guess Thunderbird has been part of my international career, or in a way that obviously this opened my eyes in seeing that the world is a global village. And I think Global Chamber goes very much into that spirit as well. And in my business, as Doug said, I am the owner of a chemical trading distribution company, which I started living in New Zealand 25 years ago, but we've expanded and we have offices here in Barcelona, in Spain, but also in the Netherlands, in Australia, in Niger, in Africa, and then a whole network of agents worldwide. And the name of our game at the end of the day, we are not producers, so we are distributors, we are traders, and networking and having good contacts, especially in let's say countries where business is more difficult. Some areas in South America and Africa where there's a lot of bureaucracy, there's a lot of issues with payment terms. networking becomes even more important as, you have to know who to deal with. And one of the ways of doing that obviously is visiting a lot of these countries. And now that, COVID mostly is gone, I hope, fortunately that's possible again. And I'm a true believer of all this, of that networking really helps. And obviously these Zooms are very nice, but the real face-to-face contact that, fortunately since last year we are able to have again are really very, very important. And especially in the areas or in the countries where we do business. So, since I know Doug, and since we have been cooperating, and Global Chamber in Europe was not very strong, but I've seen it growing every year. Every year we have more contacts. So, I've been able to help both the contacts from Global Chamber that are coming to Spain or coming to Europe to, either help them myself, or if it's another area of expertise, try to put them in contact with the right people. And that's what it's all about at the end. And I'm happy to share my part. Thanks very much, and looking forward to meeting you all someday. Bye.
Thanks, Renee, especially given you're coming back from such a big trip. Dana, any comments from you, please?
Yes, again, thank you. We thank you, Renee. I noticed that you have representation in several of the continents, and I didn't see North America, so I'm just raising a flag for us. Are there any plans to expand to this area? And I know you said you got back from Asia, so do you all have an office in that area as well?
Well, we have offices in Australia and New Zealand, so that's Asia Pacific. We do buy a lot of our raw materials in Asia. I would say almost 40% of our raw materials comes from countries like China, India, Indonesia, Malaysia, etc. United States, we do not have an office, but we do have an extensive sales network. As I say, in the countries where we do not have our own office, we usually work with a network of agents and etc. But United States is a very big country, so we definitely do not claim that we have conquered this market. There's so much opportunity out there. So anyone that is active in this field or would like to have more information on it, we're always very happy to talk to you.
Thank you for that. That was an invitation. North America, Canada, Mexico, right there. And my last comment or question for you, Renee, is you mentioned about, working in these various countries and having to work through bureaucracy. And each of us, if we've dealt with governments and trade, we have to work with bureaucracy. And I look at the 3 C's, culture, customs, and connections to be able to move through that. What would you say, are some maybe 1 or 2 hard facts on how you work through bureaucracies across cultures and countries?
Yeah, well, obviously, the most important is actually to get to know the countries and the people there, to actually go and visit and see them, to be able to speak their languages. So we really either we go ourselves or together with our local agents. It's very important to, I can come with a nice list of products that I want to sell, but if I'm not listening to the customers, then I'm not going to get very far. And especially in Africa and in Latin America, it's very much people-based business. And even here in Europe, there's a division. The more you go south, it's more personal, and that's what we're trying as an in-between. Let's say between American producers, Northern European producers, where we interact, we understand them and how they believe the business has to be done. And then on the other side, we also offer the service, and we're sort of in between and trying to make sure that that all goes as smooth as possible. And
thank you so much for that. And it kind of echoes what one of our awardees, Catherine Reed, shared with us yesterday. It's really about quality relationships, whether it's over a cup of tea or some Café Trabanco from Puerto Rico, or dining, as Maria does, global dining. It's really, or our every other month. tea networking event is really to understand culture. So thank you for being a representation of that. And we appreciate what you do.
Yeah, and please share anything you'd like to for your daughter's YouTube videos as well. Renee has a very talented daughter. Congratulations on that. How is she doing?
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously, there's a whole different sport where I'm not at all an expert, but my daughter has chosen a couple of years ago to go full time into singing career, and obviously then COVID started. That was not the easiest time, of course, because you need to be out there, promote yourself, even though a lot goes via the internet, but there's nothing that beats, you know, live singing, etc. And that's definitely ticking up again. So you know, she's still 100% dedicated to it. It's not easy, but it's great to see that she's found her passion in it. And again, I'm happy to share to those who are interested to share her YouTube channel, whatever. For those interested, she sings R&B in English. She writes her own songs, and it's always a pleasure to see it. So
Please share. Let's keep moving around the room. And the next awardee for global innovation and excellence is Pael Powell. Pael came to us through Vistage. You may be familiar with Vistage. There's 40,000 CEOs and leaders that are part of Vistage. It's a peer-to-peer advisory. In fact, it's the first peer-to-peer advisory. They'll be receiving an award later today. It's a great collaboration because the way it works is every Vistage member that joins Vistage becomes a global chamber member. And so we have hundreds of Vistage members as members of Global Chamber. These are all CEOs. And one of the ones that really stuck out to me personally was Pael Powell for two reasons. One is she lives very close in the Bay Area and Peninsula. And also she had worked at Tesla and she decided to start her own manufacturing company. and she's not only amazing capable, but she's amazing positive. You'll see in a moment, she's just like a ball of energy that you want to be near. She attracts action and business, and she's just doing a great job. So Pael, congratulations on the award. Thank you for being part of Global Chamber. We love you. You're amazing.
Well, I love you guys. I'll have to say that. Thank you so much. The very kind words, Doug. I'm tearing up a little bit here this morning. It's been a hard couple of weeks, and I have to say that I always keep that positivity through it, and getting some back from you guys has been absolutely the best part of my year so far. So thank you first and foremost for putting together these awards, because I think people, understand the value of, from a business perspective for sure, of getting these kinds of awards. You can put it on your LinkedIn page and say hey, we got recognition, but at a personal perspective too, these are moments that don't come up that often when you're, out in the world and trying to build these kind of things. A lot of things are hard knocks, and just as a human being, the effort that's been put into this by, Doug and the rest of the Global Chamber team, I can't say thank you enough. I'm also really excited to see that one of your criteria is responding to emails, because I don't think I'm very good at that. So I'm really excited you do. Thank you. That may be my biggest accomplishment so far. Anyway, all jokes aside, I run a manufacturing business out here in the Bay Area. Specifically, the location right now is Oakland. I started my business about 2.5 years ago, wanting to do manufacturing and knowing I love art. I had gotten laid off of a job during COVID. It didn't feel too good, but I asked myself, what could I make in a bedroom? And I looked around and I saw a space in a specific art community where individuals couldn't get reproductions that they needed made in China at the time. A Chinese manufacturer wants you to at least start with 50 units. You got to make a big order, for art, for people who make art, getting pre-orders is very difficult. And so I figured out a way to make my services available for mold making to individuals who even just wanted one reproduction of a sculpture. And that's how I just started learning how to deal with clients. I had kind of had some experience in that before, but really doing it yourself is a whole new ball game. I'm sure you all know. And over time, built very slowly. So I chose to not go into startup world out here in the Valley. I chose to go ahead and self-fund this small business and grow it over time in a sustainable way. That has led to me doing all sorts of high-end resin and like more high volume plastics production out here, starting to hire employees, get more contractors for different kinds of things. And we now focus on both engineering work from development level through production and artistic visioning and work. And, if somebody comes in and they say like, I have this cool idea for a toy, like I am there, I am doing it and making sure that they're going to be designed for production as well. So we're running strong. And, for anybody who wants to work on that kind of onshoring of different types of manufacturing, get their supply chain a little bit, dialed in, we are all about that. And it's been a grand time so far. So thank you all so much for having me as part of this organization. And I hope that I can help people make things and also just like be a facilitator of connections as well. That just brings me a lot of joy. So I'll insert myself in the middle of any conversation that somebody would like a warm introduction. Thanks, guys.
Awesome. Congratulations and keep up the great work. We love working with you. Dana, we're going to keep going so that we can finish up ideally, close to around the top of the hour. And so I'd like now to, I see Hannah, it's Hannah Brown, right? Hannah Kathleen at Health Optimizing. I made a mistake and I didn't have you on the list, or I didn't write it down. So are you open to receiving the award today for innovation and excellence? Health Optimizing is an extraordinary company. They're based in Europe, I think in Norway. And Hannah, you are helping them with their marketing and their growth around the world, which has been phenomenal. So congratulations. Do you have a moment to chat, and could you introduce us to Health Optimizing?
Hello, Doug, and everybody else. It's wonderful to see you all. Thank you so much for having me. Apologies for the mix-up. But yes,
I think it was me. It's user error on my part, I'm sure. Thank you.
No worries. No worries at all. But I am the head of brand and communications for Health Optimizing, and we are a technology-based clinic group specialized in finding and solving health challenges at the root causes, utilizing a vast combination of technologies. So it's wonderful to be here today. Roger and I were absolutely thrilled when you sent us the information about the award, Doug. So thank you so much to all of you. Being a part of Global Chamber has been really fantastic for us because, as we all know, in business, relationships are everything. And in order to change the world, you need to work together. And we are on a mission to redefine the medical paradigm and make Health Optimizing's methodologies that we've been developing for the past 2 decades accessible to more and more people. And obviously post-pandemic, I think more of us than ever before are really aware of how health impacts everything that we do in life. Without health, we don't have anything. So our clinic franchise is something that we are looking to expand. We're lucky to have some great partners in different territories at the moment, but we are really just scratching the surface, I believe, in terms of where we can go and what we can do to make an impact on more people's lives. So it's a franchise model at the moment, but alongside the clinic franchise, we actually also have products for home use, including devices, supplements, and superfoods. So we're really building a holistic system, if you will, to help clients both in the clinics and also at home. So we're really pleased to be part of Global Chamber, like I said, and would definitely love to connect with any of you who have an interest in health and technology. I think innovation obviously makes a lot of sense for most of us that are here based on the topic of today's meeting, but it's something that we're really passionate about as an organization and something that I'm also very passionate about personally. So very much looking forward. And thank you again, Doug, for the award and for having us as part of this fabulous community.
Where are you based and where's the firm based? Where are you growing?
So we are headquartered in Dublin. Health Optimizing Limited is an Irish company. I am from Ireland myself, but the mother clinic is based in Norway, and Health Optimizing was established by a Norwegian man named Thomas Aksnes. So the business is very much evolved from Scandinavia, if you will, but we are currently have different touch points in different countries.
The positive intelligence they're being awarded later today at the next session, and they'd like to offer Thomas or someone at the firm a free what is it called, the application and the whole process. And so I'll circle back with you on that later today. It seems like it's a really great fit with what you do. And Thomas, in his presentation at our Innovation Summit, was extraordinary in January. So thank you for you and your leadership and the firm's leadership, and really appreciate all that you do. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Dana, I'm going to go to one more person and then have you make any comments. So just so we can keep moving forward.
Sounds good.
I just noticed that there is a bit of a trend here of women, and I'd like to go to Meredith next. She's a long time member, and I was kind of thinking about this the other day. Why are there so many really amazing women at Global Chamber? And I think certainly from my perspective, I think that's been a really, honestly, a significant driving force for me to give women an opportunity, and everyone an opportunity, no matter where they're from, no matter what they look like, no matter what their background is, what their gender is, and who they love. It doesn't matter. You know, what you bring to the table is what you bring to the table. And all of that is relatively superficial. Important, but superficial. And so I think it was probably my great grandmother Paula lived to 99 years old, fell out of a cherry tree, broke her hip. Otherwise, she might still be around. Who knows? She was a tough cookie. 4'11". I'm 6'4". I don't know how that all happens. And then my grandmother Emma Shuba, she lived to 99, and she was such a tough cookie, and really I'm closer to my grandmother Emma maybe than anybody in my life. She's been extraordinary, and watching her be secondary to my grandfather, quite honestly, who was my mentor. And then when he died, to be with her until she lived till 99 was an extraordinary experience, and I think reinforces my own interest in this area. So and my mom was also a proponent as well. So I'm very thankful for all three of those very strong women. We have amazing women here, and one of them is Meredith. You know, Meredith has Emergent Risk International, and boy, what a service to have today, particularly where the world is a dangerous place. And Meredith and her team help navigate that for companies. So Meredith, thank you for all that you do. Congratulations on this Global Innovation and Excellence Award. You've been doing it for so many years. You're now in Rhode Island. Congratulations on that. And what would you like to share today about you and the firm? Thank you. Uh-oh. Are you or Brady there?
We're both here. We're both here.
There you go. Hi.
Yes,
Good to
Brady
see
was
you.
about
Long
to
time.
hold up his "you're on mute" coffee cup at me. No, thank you very much. I'm actually, that was such a kind introduction, but my chief operating officer, Brady Roberts, is on the call, and he's been with us since 2018, and since 2018 we've had just massive growth, and he's been instrumental in that, and he spends most of his time in the background. So I'm actually going to hand this over to him and let him talk a little bit for once, because I do all the talking all the time. So Brady, do you want to tell people a little bit about us and have a little spotlight for a moment?
Sure, and I will leave my coffee cup down. So, which is obviously the joke in our company, because there's always someone talking on mute on a Zoom call. So we began this sojourn. Meredith began actually our company, Emergent Risk International, as her one-woman consultancy in 2014, and that was kind of the intent, at least at the very beginning, doing bespoke work for some multinational clients. But meanwhile, one thing that she noticed was that there was a gap in this niche industry that we're in, working with risk analysts inside companies, which is that there was not really good training for how to really do this job. It was still, relatively speaking, a new industry, a little bit smaller at the time, and there just wasn't good training opportunities that really taught people how to do the work of risk or intelligence analysis for a for-profit organization. So she came along and built out, along with a fellow trainer, a whole training curriculum to help others understand how to do this job really well for a corporation. That took off. It positioned the company, what was then just a very small growing company, into the role of a thought leader. Fast forward just a little bit, I come along and join her, and we are a tiny little 5-person company in Dallas, Texas at the time, with Meredith and I and 3 young analysts, slowly but surely chipping away and building out products and services. And to get to a point that all of you talked about, it was all really through relationships, right? The training program exposed us to so many different people to build connections, build relationships. Clients started to get interested in us and looking at what is it that you guys are doing, and why is it that you guys are in this position to train all of our people. That just allowed us to continue to chip away. Fast forward to today, we have 5 full service lines of business, all of which build one upon the other. We do subscription intelligence analysis products. We still train. We're still the preeminent trainer in our industry now globally. We've got technology. We were able to build a software as a service platform that our corporations subscribe to. We go in and consult, and our client companies trust us to come in and oftentimes build out entire programs. What an incredible honor that is for us to be the thought leaders that come in and build it for them, and then also to staff it. And we're now ourselves a multinational. We're now in Ireland, in the UK, in Portugal, in Singapore. What a cool thing. What a cool story. It's been an incredible ride to be on. It's just a wonderful opportunity for us to go from that little 5-person shop in Dallas to kind of where we are today.
Well, congratulations on that. And how is it working now with Meredith, that you guys got the distance between you and you're working around the world? It sounds like having the offices is helping that.
Yeah, so they're not, I mean, all of our offices are virtual with the exception of our Newport office. What we found during the pandemic was we actually really didn't need that office space, but we also grew to over 70 people, and we physically can't put them all in the same office because we're in like 17 states and 7 countries. So we are pretty much fully remote, but we have actually found that it is not at all a hindrance to our work. And in fact, it probably aids it a lot because we don't, people aren't losing their energy on commuting and that kind of thing. We're not paying the overhead of the office, and our employees are all very interactive. We work pretty much almost exclusively on Slack as our, communications channel, and our employees are all very much on board with that. And, we've managed to get to know them, some of whom I still haven't met in person. And it's worked out really well. So yeah, being everywhere for a global risk intelligence firm is really important. So, and I would say far more important than having physical office spaces. So in most cases, people are working from home or they are working from client offices. And, it's been great. It's been really, really great. And being a member of the Global Chamber has been awesome. It was one of the first organizations we joined, I think back in 2015, 2016. We were on the advisory board for a long time in Dallas, and really enjoyed, made some great relationships, picked up a few of our vendors via the Global Chamber, and continue to make connections via Doug and them. So we really enjoy it. We definitely don't have as much time as we used to participate, but we definitely try when we can.
Fantastic. Thank you for your support and collaboration. We're
Well-
going to keep moving. And Dana, there's 4 people and we have about 20 minutes. And so if my math is correct, we only have 4 or 5 minutes per each. So do you mind if we keep moving?
Yeah, I gotta acknowledge Meredith, because this is their 3rd award that they won in the last month, one being Women of the Year and this one, and then another one. So I'm just making that 30 seconds quick, but I would be remiss if I didn't mention Hannah, who also won an award outside of this one. And so I'm speeding it up. There you go.
Congratulations. Speaking of dynamic award-winning women, Jen Diaz of Diaz Trade Law is a force of nature. Jen is based out of Miami. She's a great, not only expert on trade law, but she's built a very dynamic, powerful organization, and she's an extraordinary collaborator. Jen, thank you for all that you do. Thank you for your support and collaboration. Keep teaching people how to be successful with trade, which you do every day. Congratulations on this award for excellence and innovation in trade. Appreciate all that you do.
Thank you so much, Doug. And I see Lanier here as well. We have to give her a shout out. Anybody else here from South Florida? It's the place to be right now, at least. Says everybody in the papers and says the traffic that we see in our local highways here. But it's a wonderful place to live. I'm born and raised in South Florida, and being here and supporting the advancement of women in international businesses, trade, and has always been a really powerful and meaningful message for me. So I've been involved in the Organization of Women in International Trade, leading its international group and in charge of 22 chapters globally, and many other groups like the Global Chamber that have incentives to educate women and men that are involved in international business and trade. So normally my world and my paid day to day is helping people learn how to import and export, like making toys and dealing with Consumer Product Safety Commission, and importing alcohol and dealing with TTB. And there are 47 federal regulatory agencies that regulate imports and exports. That is a lot in the United States. So navigating them correctly is one whole element. So whether it's food, supplements, cosmetics, and crazy fun claims people want to make on their cosmetics, like saying FDA approved, because no, they didn't. If anybody ever tells you FDA approved a food, drug, or cosmetic, it's not true. It's just not even possible. So we deal with the compliance side as well as the enforcement side. So I see a lot of other lawyers that are here as well, and I'd love to connect with all of you. I put my LinkedIn info in the chat box, and I'd be ecstatic to keep an ongoing dialogue open, because I send a lot of referrals out. I stay in my lane. So if it involves import-export matters and international trade matters, whether companies are dealing with anti-dumping or intellectual property rights and protecting your brands or and such involved in the import-export space, that's great. But I don't write contracts. I don't deal with immigration. I don't deal with a lot of other litigation type matters, IRS matters, and so on. Those are all fun things that we are ecstatic to refer out to others, and we do on a daily. So a big thanks to the Global Chamber for being a great partner. I'm involved in 10 active organizations right now as a board member. So now I'm trying to combine these organizations, and God forbid we should all just work together and go to one happy hour event instead of 10 separate events for all of these organizations. So we've been having some really wonderful charitable related events, and also just great networking related events, because there are so many great networking organizations in South Florida, and I'm trying to get everybody to collaborate and work together and get to know each other. So it's been wonderful to have Lanier as a partner here in South Florida to get that done. So big thanks to Global Chamber. It's really nice to be recognized. As PM Powell said, it's cool to do what you do on a day-to-day basis, but it's really nice for somebody else to say, hey, you rock, because I think all of us work really hard, and it's really nice to have somebody else say, hey, you rock. So thank you.
Thank you. You do rock. Appreciate that, and everything that you do. You made me think of our next awardee, Demetris Evans, because she is an attorney in trade, and I presume maybe you guys already know each other, and if not, we definitely need to correct that. Demetris is an extraordinary trade attorney, does international work, based out of Chicago, and she joined Global Chamber relatively recently in the last couple of years. And she very rapidly accelerated to be on the advisory board, and now she's the board chair for Global Chamber Chicago, and she is rocking it at work and as a board chair. Demetris, thanks for all that you do. Congratulations on your progress. What would you like to share today that I've left out about the Evans Law Firm and the Evans International Law Firm, and you, because you are extraordinary?
Thank you so much to the Global Chamber. For anybody who had any decision-making power in considering me and the Evans International Law Firms, namaste. Thank you so much. So for the past 14 years, I've been in Chicagoland. I started the Evans International Law Firms, where we do M&A, contracts, and intellectual property. That's trademarks, patents, copyrights, as well as trade secrets, more becoming a compliance manual for me at this point. I also teach business classes, and the school that I teach for is the Joseph Business School, and they have 42 schools around the world. So I wind up getting all of these questions from around the world as to how do I structure my business in my country, and then when I decide to have a subsidiary in the Chicagoland area, which is #1 for business this year, how do I do it? Where do I need to file the trademarks? Do I need to, have the regulations? So, Jen, I will be calling you like tomorrow. Okay, I'm on it. I operate with usually a team of about 10, and they're located around the world. I consciously decide, and no one's getting the phone right now, but I consciously decide my team based on where they are, right? So if they're in India or in Africa, then we're meeting at different times a day, trying to figure out all of the cases that are going back and forth. So yes, we are super busy, and it's all the time. Being the chair of the Chicago board of trustees for the Global Chamber has been just an eye-opening experience for me. And let me just tell you what I mean. So I just got back from Colombia. In Colombia, and I saw my sister from Colombia. Hola. I got so connected there that now I know the trade is going to go back and forth between, this was Medellin and Chicago. And I think I was only open to that in a way that I've seen at the Global Chamber, in a way that I am offering myself. So the networking at the Global Chamber is like, it's par excellent. The programs, we just put on a program in Chicago looking at the economy. That was our first Global Chamber program. And then we're going to just continue with the money flow, following the money in greater Illinois, and the products that are coming out of this area, to see how that opens up trade in different areas, transportation, distribution. And I have a particular interest in the African continent. So cases like that you would send to me. I've put all my information in the chat, and Dana, I know Dana's gonna say something. Dana does the most wonderful programs I've been able to attend. So thank you so much. I can't say enough about Doug. Doug is like, you're like the quintessential, I hope I can say this. I guess it's because of the baby that you had in so many of your photographs, but it's like the grandfather who knows everybody and everything. That's how kind of I think about you, without the age, Doug. So
Yes, yes. Oh, we're just ecstatic, Demetrius. I know we have to move on with time, but our hearts are warm to see you thriving, connecting. And just like the movie would say, show me the money. You're like, let's follow the money and build relationships. And there's people right on this Globinar. You want to do business in the continent of Africa? They're here. We've got people in the US doing business in Africa, which will be featured. So you're going to need to connect with them too. But Brian Thompson, I'm just going to throw his name out there. Gifty, Dornuki, follow them, and more.
Thank you so much. And I also see now, Dana, that there's actually 3 people left, and we have 8 minutes. So we are going to go a little bit over. So that's, I hope most or all of you can go a little bit past the hour, so that we can probably at least 10 minutes pass, so that we can do a good 5 minutes for each person, and have Dana wrap up, and any other comments or people that I missed perhaps. I'd like to go next to Ed Pope. Ed Pope is a leader with information technology and cybersecurity. And what we love about you, Ed, is that you've been expanding so rapidly and you just kind of just go from one city to the next. He's also taking a leadership role as the board chair for Global Chamber Houston. So Ed, thank you so much for your long support and collaboration. Congratulations on the expansion of the business, your variety of different things that you get involved with around the US, into Mexico, around the world, very global. Ed, you're extraordinary. Thank you so much. And we recognize you with a Global Innovation and Excellence Award.
Ed unfortunately said he had to go. If you look in the chat box, I'll repost what he said.
No, bummer.
He relinquished his time, unfortunately, but he did say to connect with LinkedIn. So if everybody can take a moment to check out the chat box and connect with Ed on LinkedIn.
I think it might be, he might be Edwin Pope. So take a look at that. And what we'll do is we'll link everybody up by LinkedIn as well, so that you've got that if you haven't already. He is really quite extraordinary, and watching him over the last 5 years as he's grown his business has been just a real pleasure. And so just like many of you, congratulations on your success. And Ed, if you're watching this video, you're amazing. And I'll follow up with a call later today. Let's now go in a similar vein. Bindu Latha is in the Midwest. She's in Kansas City based, but she also works across the region. Elite Tech Solutions is a company that has been very successful, somewhat similar to Ed in the similar space in technology, including cybersecurity. Congratulations, Bindu, on your success. We recognize you as being a Global Innovation and Excellence Award winner for so many years, and thank you for your support and collaboration as well. What would you like to share about you and the firm and what you're doing?
Sure. Elite Tech Solutions is a company where we started with a small group. The zero penny investment is a driven technology service provider which aims to provide its customers modest services. And the beauty of this company is all youngsters use the present trending technology. They explore and make sure the team is giving the increased profitability and growth and success, for this company. Initially, we started like a couple of decades ago, and we are from Kansas City, the main hub, and we are globally working with the different young youth, talented, skillful persons. And the company has its own objectives and the collaboration to participate, the collaborating with companies for the development of real estates and projects. And the company is collaborated now with the mutually agreed with the COP-to-COP business at this point. And we established the channel of communication that permits with multiple global companies. And we are specialized in a technical, financial, institutional collaboration, and as well export, import. And if anyone want to join in different countries also, we allow to make them as a partners. And very nice to be part of this global chamber, and very nice working in the collaboration. We made like good connections, and we started like a good new connections with the global chamber as well. And Elite Tech Solutions, definitely thank you so much for selecting Elite Tech Solutions as a global entrepreneur awardee today. Definitely, we look forward to build the relationship with the different companies. Thank you so much for the potential participants who are working today, and congratulations to all participants once again. And the ETSI company is a global entrepreneur awardee company, and this is all certified company. And we have like different investors, different companies, different business, Initially, we started with the IT consulting, but we are exploring different entities as well. Thank you, Doug, for keeping all of us into one room, especially our encouraging women, which is so nice of you. Thank you.
Thank you. Dana, I'll turn it over to you for a moment. We have one last superstar group that we'll talk to after this, but what comments do you have for Bindu or any other comments that you have?
I never thought I'd be at a loss for words. And Brian is going, me either. Well, we want to just congratulate you, Bindu, and the others that I've kind of just acknowledged how you were recognized, not just by Global Chamber, but especially by Global Chamber, and also as leaders in your industry, as heading women as entrepreneurs. And then Hannah, I think yours was what, top U3 female by Yahoo, and Pael, Luxury Collectibles, just what each of y'all doing at each different aspects of the world, but doing it and connecting through Global Chamber. Global and unstoppable. This is what it looks like. I'm waiting for some men to kind of rise up. Waiting for the guys.
And that we'll finish up with that. Before we do go to our last awardee, just to let you know, this is the second of 5 programs. The next one is in, let's see, it's 8 a.m. here, so it's in 8 hours. And that one is actually going to be the biggest one, the most full. Dana, I don't know if you're going to be able to join there on that one, but that'll be a chore to get through at any reasonable pace, because these are all, again, amazing people. So if you can, in 8 hours, join us. And then there's another one at this time tomorrow and another one on Friday. The one on Friday is on LinkedIn Audio. If you haven't done LinkedIn Audio, give it a try. It's voice only. So if you've ever used Clubhouse, it's LinkedIn's version of Clubhouse. And we used to do things on Clubhouse, and we've met a lot of interesting people there, including exporters and importers, but we've moved over to LinkedIn Audio. Check that out on Friday. So 3 more programs of amazing people and that are really going to be able to interest you and excite you and inspire you, undoubtedly. And one of our last awardee, unless I missed someone, hopefully I didn't, is a pair of men, Dana. And one of them, Comey Clue, is a man who I've known many years, and he and I share an experience of living quite a number of years in the first state, which probably, other than Comey, does anyone else know the first state in the U.S.? Really? Wow. Hey, Comey, we need to do a better job of this. The first state in the U.S. is Delaware. And so both Comey and I have had the pleasure of meeting then Senator Biden. You're usually at the train station for me. And one time when my daughter was, even before she was born, I met him at the University of Delaware, and he was like such an extraordinarily kind and amazing guy. The worst hair plugs I'd ever seen. So this was 1984. So his hair clearly has gotten a lot better, and hair plug technology has gotten better. But other than that kind of distraction, just such a warm fellow. And I thought, wow, what if all politicians could be that amazing and heartfelt? And so nobody can say anything bad about Uncle Joe. He's an extraordinary leader, and I've just been so proud to be able to meet him on multiple times and be able to get to know him a little bit. Comey as well. Beyond that, Comey is an extraordinary banking leader, and then he's transformed that into investment in Africa, and he's been very successful in building an investment channel in Africa. And lo and behold, he meets Brian. And so Brian and he get together and they start what I think should be happening a lot more. SciPrep is basically a nearshoring company that has been so successful in Mexico in Africa. Why can't young African leaders learn technology and services for business and then export that service across borders within Africa and into other countries? And SciPrep is proving that you can. So congratulations, both Brian and Comey, for your leadership, your accomplishments, and for forming SciPrep what did I get wrong in this description? And what would you like to share about your venture?
Well, first, thank you very much. No, you got it pretty spot on. Thank you, first of all, for giving us an opportunity to grow and scale within your organization. Some of you guys know we scaled a lot through the Global Chamber. And secondly, thank you for this award. It's our first award as a company, so we're very happy. So thank you very much for that. We are here really for you. So we're here to serve you and anyone else. We're also to serve in Africa that have been overlooked. There are a lot of smart, talented people in Africa, everybody from accountants to big data scientists that don't get an opportunity to take their talents abroad within their small silos in Africa, but begin to bring the talents abroad by giving you an opportunity to get talent in your organization that may cost you $150 an hour for 8% less. So we get to serve you and we can serve them at the same time. We get to help you advance your business so your expenditures aren't ridiculous, especially small companies and startups. There's always that pain point of talent versus dollar. Well, we can satisfy that, and that's true. And at the same time, these African gifted people getting paid pennies right now for their expertise. We can get them more money in their pockets for legacy building, for real legacy building in Africa, so that their families can grow. And that's really what we're a part of. So anything from a bookkeeper to a website development to data scientists to marketing and graphics, we can do it for anyone within the chamber at a high quality, at a high level for a low price. And you would be then helping someone else across the pond. So that's kind of what we do. I'm very happy and very proud of my team. I'm going to relinquish the last couple seconds here because I talk a lot to Comey. I'd like for Comey to say a couple of things, and then thank you so much.
No, I don't have much to say. Brian, I've said everything, and I just want to recognize also Stephanie, who is part of our team, our leadership team, and just say this award belongs to the entire team. Thank you.
I gotta say something, Doug. I'm about to explode over here. Do I have 30 seconds?
Yeah, no, we have time. Please go ahead.
All right. So Brian Thompson belongs to me. He's a part of Global Chamber Atlanta. So it's almost like seeing, and I'm not calling you a child, but seeing your child grow to maturity, and then now they're contributing to society and doing wonderful things. That's how I feel. That's how I want to express that. And to know that Comey and Stephanie are part of this and making it happen. We as business owners, their services we could use. It's as simple as that. Like you said, if you need a website, if you need accounting, and, just breaking it down to the intricate part, that they provide that. And I've utilized them. So I became a customer. I become a customer of many of my members. That's what I realized, including Mel Dowdell, who's on. And we're just congratulating you because Brian joined Global Chamber September 2022. And in the less than 6 months, SciPrep not only was on the map, they were on the globe, doing business from the U.S. across the country to the continent of Africa, and actually with a storefront, not just online. So they are physically, and Comey was key to making that connection. And then Stephanie's healthcare leadership and project management skills was key to just taking it to another level. So this is a proud mama over here. Even though you're older than me.
That's awesome. Congratulations, Mom. This is part of why I think most or all of us are involved with global business. There's a bigger thing here in the room, right? It's people who are local are fine, and don't do global, and they do their transactions, and they sometimes have much bigger influence than that. Global, we have an opportunity to impact things on such a much bigger scale. And so what we're seeing here, I think, is just so significant, because this should happen. Africa is growing dramatically. And there needs to be an export mentality. There needs to be export pipelines. And you guys are building that within Africa, to be able to create young people coming in, being educated, and then being paid a living wage and a fair wage for really being able to do some great services. I saw this in Mexico 15 years ago, where a company that I was actually helping set up said, we need to build a pipeline of technology people within Mexico. So they talked to the universities, they built a pipeline. It's now a multi-billion-dollar business in Mexico, where the universities are training IT people who then do IT support, mainly into the US, but around the world. So it doesn't just have to be in India. It can be done anywhere in the world. And we're seeing that in all sorts of countries. And so why not Africa? It's a logical step. So what you're doing is tremendous. So congratulations on that. I'd like to, Dana, turn it over to Cesar if he's there for any comments that he has based on today's program, and then also come back to you and get your final assessment. And then if there's anything that anybody has here, either raise your hand or we'll unmute everybody and let you say any final comments. But let's wrap it up in the next few minutes so everybody can get back to the rest of your day. Cesar, are you there? And are there any comments that you have, any mistakes I made that you want to correct, or did I miss anybody?
Hi, Doug, and no, I don't think so. So I just want to congratulate all the awardees, and say thank you to all of them and to everyone else who joined us today. I see team members supporting, like Omar supporting Renee, and I see Brady supporting Meredith. So that's pretty cool. And it's always a pleasure working with you guys and helping as much as I can. I've received a couple of emails already, like, hey, I'm interested in connecting with this person or that person. So this is part of it, to keep networking, keep exploring opportunities, and and see what we can achieve in the long term. So thanks again, everyone. And I'm always available to help and support in the process, your own members. And so that's where I always get in and be a bridge for the connections and the opportunities.
Two quick examples of Cesar and what he does. There was a member who was renewing, and we were putting it together, and they said, we'd like to meet Richard Branson. And I was on a call, and I was like, well, I don't know, but we might be able to do it. So I sent them a response, just like, great meeting, thanks for renewing. They're actually a visionary sponsor. And Cesar, I blind copied him, and he came back and said, oh, by the way, there's a member that works with Richard Branson, they may be able to help. And so the next morning when I let them know, they were like, oh my God, that's amazing. You guys work so fast. Another example is a member who left the US around 3 a.m. for Turkey a week or so ago. And he said, and I talked to him at night and right before he left, and he said, I'm going to get on the plane to Istanbul. I'm going to be all these places, Kazakhstan, but I need this, and this help. So by the time he landed in Istanbul, Cesar had given him 4 extraordinary connections, and he sent me a private message and said, you guys are amazing. So Cesar is the amazing part. So thank you, Cesar, for all that you do. Dana, did you have any comments that you'd like to make?
Thank you.
I was gonna end on the Cesar note too. You are an incredible leader, our CEO, Doug, and founder. Your vision, you were able to cast it, and then we could see the value in it and grab hold. And we just want to acknowledge Cesar too, who does things quietly behind the scenes from thousands of us. I don't know how both of you keep up with all of us and do it so gracefully. So we want to recognize you and give you all an award. You'll just have to print out your own certificates. Thank you very much.
That's very funny. In 4 hours, we have our next session. I want to leave you with something optimistic, other than all the optimism that you've heard today and the impact, something called gapminder.org. Gapminder.org. Please check it out if you haven't. Probably some of you know of the founder. He passed away a few years ago. He's done a 4-minute video on BBC that talks about how the world is getting better. And his mission in life was to educate people that it is getting better. And he measures it by health and wealth. The longevity of people has been dramatically increasing, except actually through COVID. That's actually kind of hit a wall. And the wealth of people around the world has been increasing. And so in that 4-minute BBC video for Gapminder, you'll see that, wow, that's extraordinary. Things are getting better. And hopefully after now COVID and we reach back into some equilibrium, it will be getting better. We actually have his daughter speaking at Global Chamber in a few months at our monthly book author series. I've been trying for years to connect to him. It didn't work. And then I was able, through the book author series, for her to be able to speak. They wrote a book called Factfulness. He wrote the book with his family, his wife and his daughter. And it's really all about knowing about the world. And what they found is when people are asked about the world, they almost always think more pessimistically than the reality. And that's really important for us to understand, because we are global ambassadors. We're doing global work. More people involved with global business will create a better world. We'll stop being so insular and much more open-minded and mindful. And thank you all for being that way. Let's keep working together and collaborating to move to the next level. We're at the end of the program. We'll just open up the mics. Feel free to leave at any time. If you have some comments that you'd like to make or anything you'd like to share. Undoubtedly, Rugo from Venezuela, just back into the US, if you'd like to share. But this is the end of the program. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day. But let's keep everything open. So if anybody has anything, please go ahead. Thanks, everybody.
Hey, Doug, Stephanie. I'm not tooting. I mean, you all have done a great job. Thank you so much to you, Cesar, and also to the award members. You guys are an inspiration to me, and I truly appreciate all that you all have done and doing. And I also want to say thank you to Dana. I know she's my sister, but she's done a great job. And even though I am the oldest by this much, I look up to her. I appreciate her as well, and all that you all have done and to continue to do. And thank you for your patience, because Doug, you have the patience of the saints. I just hear when you talk to people and you don't get rattled at all. And it just makes it a smooth interaction, as well as Cesar. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Absolutely.
Doug.
Thank you.
Very kind.
Thank you.
Hi, Doug. It's Rigo.
Hey, Rigo. Welcome back.
Hi, thank you. I'm still in bed from traveling 22 hours yesterday, but I'd like to thank you for the help that you gave me and Cesar while I was in Venezuela. I came back with wonderful, wonderful programs and opportunities for all of our tribe that I will be sharing with you as soon as I see you, hopefully this next week. Thank you so much for that.
If you can stop by Thunderbird on Friday for lunch, feel free. We can have lunch upstairs at the pub, or the Tony Benegas. Tony Benegas, well, what an amazing guy. We're doing a farewell. He's joining the Peace Corps after a long history of working in Honduras at Thunderbird next Tuesday. So thank you, Rigo. Look forward to checking in with you. Does anybody else have any?
Doug?
Yes.
Go Phils. Yes, go Phils.
I'll get my hat.
Go Phil.
Go
You
Phils.
heard my Yankee comment earlier, huh?
Yes, I heard your Yankee comment. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes, we took
yeah. Well, we'll see who wins the rubber game today. I like the Phillies. They're my National League team, but I got to go with the Yanks today. Sorry. Anybody else have it? Oh, look at this. We've got all sorts of baseball hats. Oh my goodness. Demetrius, where's your Chicago hat? Cubs or White Sox?
Yes, the Cubs or White Sox.
No, it's both.
What a politician. That's a Chicago answer.
Well, If there's no other comments, hey, really
Hey, Doug,
appreciate
Doug,
all
I
of
have
you.
a comment. I just want
Yes,
to,
sir.
I
Hi,
just want
Colin.
to commend Cesar. He does such a great job. Before I get on this call, I was on a call with Colin, another Globy who is in the Philippines, and Cesar introduced us together, and then talking to him, it comes to find out that he has a need. He's into the software development industry, and he has a need to have like around the clock coverage for his team. So if Cesar has not made that introduction, I would not have known that. He would not have known that we have operation in Ghana that can cover his needs. And I would not have known that there's somebody who is in the Philippines who needs our services. So this is what the Global Chamber is all about. Thank you very much to you and God.
You never know the who, the how, the when. So
exactly. Thank you, Cesar. You are
the
amazing.
magic happens. Colin Christie is an old friend of mine, and here's how crazy he is. Your Chat GPT, if you follow Colin Christie, he's the Global Chamber Executive Director for Manila and really all of the Philippines. He retired. I helped him sell his business in EMR, electronic medical records. He retires to the Philippines, old guy like me, and then he gets married and has 2 children. And then he's a technology wizard with Chat GPT. So if you follow him, he's following it and he's using it to figure out a variety of different things. He's from South Africa originally, built this company in the US, a lot of time in Silicon Valley, now back in Manila, and he's an extraordinary man.
He's amazing. He's amazing.
He's extraordinary. So thank you, Comey. Really appreciate it. Does anybody else have any comments?
Yeah, I also gotta say, your tagline when I first joined was, facilitating the warm introductions. And I was like, that sounds amazing. And I think based on my experience so far, you also got to add your tagline, like, we are the inspiration of the warmest community you'll find too. Like,
I like that.
Host like that hasn't, participated in too many events or like part of the community yet. Like, I have been blown away by the way you guys just seem to encourage people to like come into conversations with energy. And like, that is not everywhere. So talk yourselves up even more in that arena, because like, I've been doing that for you, going like, I just can't believe how, from a distance, you've been able to figure out how to get everyone to buy into these energetic interactions and like working together on these different projects. It blows my mind. So I mean, if you need a marketing agent for the Global Chamber, I could go on about you for days. But thank you for making something that's just so helpful and not anywhere else that I've found.
Awesome. That's great. Thank you very much. Yeah, we need all the help we can get. Thank you. My hope and expectation is over the next 4 or 5 years, I can relinquish the CEO job and then spend 15, 20 more years at least just being, a builder of Global Chamber around the world and traveling. And so we need to build our team. And one of the things I spent most of March with COVID, and one of the awakenings I had through the fever and just kind of like being tired, mainly being tired, was, damn, we got to do some things that are different and faster and better and on the marketing side. And so we got some things planned, including a member app that we're begun to work on in earnest instead of just talking about it. So thank you. Really appreciate your support. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
And the book, right, Cesar? Global is Good. The first of hopefully every other year having a book from Global Chamber that talks about the value of global business and getting more people involved. I'm not a real big proponent of saying global business is hard. It's not hard. It's just that you have to work at it, and it is a team sport and a team activity. So you just got to you got to have a community around you that can help you in the tight moments. And so thank you for being that community for us.
If you're looking, I'm sorry, go ahead, Doug.
No, that was it. I got to stop talking. Go ahead.
Sorry about that. We help people write books in 90 days. 90 days to manuscript. So if you're looking to do a book every other year, Doug, Transformational Writers Conference, which Cesar is a part of, Stephanie's a part of, pioneers in this with us. We do that. So reach out to us, transformationalwriters.com. Let's tell your story. Let's get published, because your book is your business card. All this expertise that you have and this knowledge, if it's not documented, then you've got to keep retelling it. Let's put it in something, hard copy, e-copy, you know it, you name it.
And those are in Bermuda usually, right?
In Puerto Rico.
Oh, in Puerto Rico, okay.
Puerto Rico, yes.
Fantastic.
And this year we're gonna do a little bit more by arriving a little bit earlier so we can spend time with our VP, Cesar, in his region of Puerto Rico. So come on board, guys, sign up. We're rolling out the information this week, so look for us.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great rest of your day. Maybe see you later today or then sometime this week.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Cheers.